Well, hello, everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to the Spiritual View. We're excited to have you. And we have some lovely ladies as co hosts this evening. And we are a group of soul sisters merging our magic and to build this lovely spiritual community. So, as you're joining, we welcome you and we're so grateful for you. We have the lovely Jen from the Awakened Jen Tarot. We have Wendy with us. We have myself, and we have Ruby from Ruby's Lighthouse Tarot. And we have all been together this week, and you've probably seen some of our daily content. If not, we would encourage you to check that out because we do videos Monday through Friday. We have tonight, and we do a lot of different special events. So stay tuned for those upcoming events, which we will announce on the channel. Now, if you are new to the channel, welcome in. And we will be having a conversation tonight. We'll do a quick energy clearing because we all need it by the end of the week to get us ready for the weekend. And we also pull cards for readers. And so what we will be doing tonight is responding to those of you who put a heart in the chat. So as you are joining, just please put heart in the chat and we will see how many we can get through in the hour that we have with you. We also would like to shout out to Dawn, who is traveling this week, and she has a special day tomorrow, the 18th. It is her birthday. So we are sending you lots of love, Dawn. Hopefully the visit is continually going well, and we're wishing you a wonderful and happy birthday tomorrow. And any other announcements, or are we good to go? Good to go. All righty. So like always, if you are new, we do a quick clearing for those returning champions. Thank you for your ongoing support of the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share because that helps build the algorithm for us. And we really appreciate that. So we're going to start this evening by asking everyone just to close their eyes. And we're just going to relax this evening. And we're going to relax into our bodies. So find a comfortable space. Just sit or lie down comfortably. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. We're going to try that again, in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. And just continue to slow your breath down. Relax into your body. Notice where you're holding any tension and release all that tension gently. Feel the tension in your shoulders release. Anything in your feet and your legs, your arms, your hands, just let them soften. Relax into your body. Let your mind soften. We are going to visualize a sphere of soft violet light forming above your head. The light of higher consciousness and divine clarity. And we're going to imagine this sphere gently lowering, passing through the crown chakra, and moving its way all the way through our bodies, from the third eye to the throat, the heart, clearing and recalibrating each center. As this light reaches your solar plexus, your sacral, your root chakras, feel it move down all the way through the legs, the feet, out the toes, with this violet light anchoring you deep into Mother Earth. You feel safe, supported, and grounded. Now imagine threads of outdated thoughts or stories that we've told ourselves, or energetic loops that we keep coming back to and repeating, especially related to old structures or confusion or expression. Let these gently dissolve deeply into Mother Gaia. As you breathe in, say silently, I reclaim my clarity. And as you exhale, I release all distortion. Pause here in silence for a moment, simply being present in the stillness of Mother Gaia and this beautiful violet light. When you are ready, begin to bring awareness back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Let's take a nice, deep cleansing breath once again, in through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. And when you are ready, open your eyes. You are clear, you are whole, and you are ready. All right. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining us. And we are going to talk a little bit about astrology. Now, it's very obvious that I'm not Dawn, and we're going to have a conversation this evening about the energy and some of the astrology. And we're going to talk about some of the themes, and then we're going to have a panel discussion with all of us about this energy. We'll be pulling some cards for the collective as well as individual card pulls. And so it's been a big week. And what is this, Ruby? Uh-oh. I think we lost Ruby. Well, we'll continue on. But the astrology started last week. And if anyone's felt the energy like we have, and I know, Wendy, you said it's been a challenging couple of weeks, but this full moon in Capricorn, the energy is still resonating. And that started on July the 10th. And it invited a reflection on achievements and patterns over the past 6 months, really helping us release excess baggage in realigning all of our life systems. And again, we are still working through this, but this is looking at the last 6 months of patterns, things that we are proud of that we are releasing, but also it's a reminder that we have additional opportunity to continue to release ancestral trauma, ancestral patterns, and things that perhaps we have taught ourselves to believe. The stories that we've told each other or told ourselves about ourselves. Now, what's fascinating, which happened on July the 13th, and we've talked a little bit about this, but all the outer planets stationed retrograde on July the 13th, which was Monday of this week. And as Dawn and I talked about it, this is pretty significant. There's Ruby. Welcome back, Ruby. And so these are the planets that have gone retrograde on the 13th of this week: Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, and Jupiter, signaling a very deep return to review foundational elements. Saturn brings reviewing our boundaries. Neptune is around our dreams, and sometimes it can bring confusion. Pluto brings in our assessment and review of power of others around us, but our own personal power. And are we actually standing in our power? Uranus brings change and innovation, and Jupiter brings enhanced growth. So think about all those combinations. That's a lot of energy going on in a retrograde. As well, this week, Saturn in Aries asks us to reassess our leadership, our responsibility, and anywhere where there have been rigid structures or things that we actually really need to review. Now, with Saturn stationing on the 13th, this also brought in additional opportunities for water issues. And we've seen that when Neptune went stationary on the 7th of July. Now, the Neptune retrograde is interesting because it does invite spiritual recalibration. And it lets us and allows us to distinguish intuition from illusion in breaking through confusion, which is oftentimes a byproduct of being in the Neptune energy. Now, there also this week is a trine between Uranus and Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius, and Sedna, enriching our collective consciousness. Now, this could look like breakthroughs in technology, breakthroughs in some sort of communication, and expansion of our consciousness as a collective. So a lot going on. And of course, today, the Mercury retrograde began with Mercury in Leo. And it encourages us to look at reflection, creative revision, and re-expression rather than launching anything new. So as Donna and I talked about it, and we've talked about it, this is probably not the week to start new businesses or new ventures. But again, it's an opportunity to step back and to review and to look at kind of where we might make changes or modifications in our strategy moving ahead. And as everyone's coming in, a big hello as you're joining. And then some recommendations, because that's all well and good, and I'm not an astrologer. I have a love and appreciation for astrology, but I want to get to, well, what does that mean? What do we do with it? So some practical things to think about this week and over the weekend, as this energy of retrograde season is here. With the Saturn and Neptune retrogrades, it's an opportunity to clean or cleanse outdated structures that no longer serve us and reset goals from the place of inner knowing, not other stories of what people have told us, but what we know in our hearts. So that requires us to really tap into our high priestess energy, our divine feminine energies, the softer energies, and to remember our third eye. It also is an opportunity with Mercury really to pause before pivoting. So the Mercury retrograde gives us an opportunity to step back. And before we just jump in there and take action, let's revisit rather than jumping. So if you have this desire to go off and jump and do something, it's not the weekend to be the fool, would be the analogy that we would give you. It's probably a good week to be the hermit or to be in observation mode. Now, the trine gives us an opportunity to bring in some new ideas, and we might see some unexpected insights, or you might get knowing coming out of nowhere. And that could be the Archangel Uriel coming around us to give us these insights. So again, there's a lot astrologically going on, but the two big themes, really, all the outer planets in retrograde as of the 13th, Monday, and the Mercury retrograde, which began today in Leo. And again, just a time for pause, for reflection, revisiting old themes, but probably not the best for going off and creating new things and new ventures at the moment. So those are some of the themes. And I wanted to ask, does anyone have a question, or did you have a comment that you'd like to make before we ask the panel question? Nope. All right. So the conversation that we wanted to have is, I think with so many planets, outer planets in retrograde, it's pretty significant this week. And so what for you are you reassessing in your life? So with all the planets in retrograde, and I'm going to go over them again, just so that we don't forget them. All right. It's Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, and Jupiter. So where are you assessing your life, and what is happening as you were reassessing that? So I'm actually going to start, Ruby, I'm going to start with you, if you don't mind. And thank you for being with us once again. She is one of our regular guests, and she's part of the fam. So again, what does this mean for you?
Well, I'm definitely having retrograde issues with my iPad tonight, so it's definitely there. For me, it's like with all of these different planets happening at the same time, it's like with my personal and professional life, it's shifting in ways that I wasn't expecting at all. And it's like for when it comes to relationships and people, it's like, you know, you have your forever people that you think are going to be in your life forever. And some of those people in my life are disappearing. The forever people are disappearing a little bit, or they're phasing out, or there's contracts that are being closed out. And then I'm coming across people who I never thought were going to be in my life that are becoming forever people. And so it's like I'm sitting back and having this period of like reassessment with that, you know, because it's just kind of blowing my mind. I'm having to let go of feeling like I'm in control of what other people decide to do, because everybody has their own free will. And I'm having to force myself to allow spirit to really come in and give me the guidance that I need to make decisions, but also just allowing. And that can be so, it's just difficult, because we always have this sense like we need to control, but we just can't. And there's some things that happen where you're just like, I have to just breathe through this and let things happen and let myself see what is happening with open eyes, and then trust what my intuition is telling me. And it's challenging, but I feel that as a result of doing that, it's changing me from the inside out, you know, to put it shortly. But it's very deep. It's like it's because it's all of the retrogrades. We're not just talking about, you know, just the retrograde in Leo. It's all of it. It's everything combined, and the energy is just so strong right now. But it's like I'm becoming a version of myself that I'm growing as a soul, right? But then I just can't believe what the direction some things are kind of turning into now. That's like on a personal level. And I'm branching out professionally and doing things that I never thought I would do, but it's kind of going to another level with that too, where I'm pushing myself outside my comfort zone even more, and like trying to join like TikTok and stuff, which is really not my first choice. and I'm like making myself do those things. And it's just like, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have laughed at you and been like, no way, you know? So it's pretty big energy for me personally. Yeah.
That's good. That's great. Well, thank you for sharing. And I think what you shared, many of us are going through very similar things around friendships and relationships and people leaving and new people entering that are total surprises. So
yeah, I've had some amazing, wonderful people that I've met that are like soul family now.
That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, and for you, what's going on with your assessment or reassessment?
I think mine is very similar to what Ruby said. I mean, it's literally every area of my life has been affected at this point. And I think I know that I've just been in a space for the last several weeks of like, what do I even want now? Because I mean, everything got just cleared out. And it's just, you know, all this fresh soil. I mean, and it's not like it's a bad thing. Like, I'm not looking at it in the same way that I was even earlier this year when it was all leaving me and, you know, like I was still kind of spinning and all that. Now I see like the possibility is in front of me, but what do I want to do with it? Because there's all kinds of possibilities. And it's like, I have a lot of passion projects, you know, that like I want to work on. And it's like, you only have so much time to do it. And it's what's going to get the most fulfillment, you know. I'm looking at everything through different eyes right now, everything through different eyes. And it's like the motivations I had at the beginning of this year are completely different than what they are now. Now it's just like, you know, the things I thought were important literally on January 1st have zero value to me now. And so, I mean, it's full impact. It's just complete full impact.
Wow. That's amazing. And I think it's a great observation for all of us is that, you know, we have to let spirit bring it to us and let it unfold, because if we try to control it, you know, that doesn't really work. And that's hard because we all want things to happen quickly.
Yeah.
All right, Wendy.
All right, I'm up. Well, actually, I kind of thought of some specific things. I know I've been really thinking about breaking cycles, you know, especially from, you know, childhood to now. Just the, you know, the ways, you know, that you grow up and you're told, and how you start to see yourself and how you are in certain relationships, and just being like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's like we've been playing these roles, and it's like, that's not who I ever was, and it's not who I want to be. It's like, who set this up, you know? So really kind of, and in breaking those cycles, it kind of allows me to really be more of my authentic self for, you know, I feel like probably maybe the first time in my life. I think for a few years in my teenage years, I thought I was doing it, but no, you know, but it's like, because you just, you, or at least I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, it's like, you know, you go through the years and you just think, oh, well, this is what's expected of me, and this is what I should be doing. And this is, you know, you put yourself in these roles and stuff, but you don't really ask yourself, like, is this really me? You know? So I feel like I've been doing more of that. And also, you know, having, that has to come hand in hand with having healthier boundaries with people and things. I've been trying to have a better understanding to improve communication in relationships and things, which has really been helping in kind of seeing those cycles and helping to break them. Also, really looking at my self-care and what am I actually doing, and trying to create more of a routine with that, and making it a priority, because, you know, intellectually it's like, yeah, you know that you should take care of yourself, but I know I struggled emotionally with it, just to be like, to accept that I deserve to take care of myself, you know, because I've always felt like, oh no, I need to put myself last and take care of everybody else first. So kind of wrapping my head around that, and really accepting that as like, yeah, no, I do deserve to take care of myself. And in fact, it will benefit everyone around me, because I'll be able to better help them. And then also just moving into my other, you know, spiritual gifts and things, and accepting those, and really just letting go of any fear, you know, that I had with that, and really just trying to kind of, you know, flex those muscles and see where it lands, where it takes me. And yeah, so it's I mean, it's all good, positive things, but none of it is as easy as you want it to be. You know, doing the work of it. It's a lot to go through, and there's a lot of, it's like you realize as you're starting, especially to break some of these cycles, it's like some of the pain and maybe even resentment that you didn't even know you were holding inside of yourself. And then it just starts to, you know, kind of come out and get released. And it's like, you know, it's cathartic. It feels good, but it also feels horrible at the same time, you know? So yeah, so it's just been just a roller coaster of emotions and fatigue, and there have been some really great high moments too, though, of like feeling just really, really good about especially working on some of the spiritual stuff, and just really diving into it. That's been a saving grace for sure, because trying to get through all of these, you know, breaking of cycles, I think that's one of the hardest and the most difficult for me, kind of getting through and just really having to examine and face things, and really kind of restructuring a lot of my relationships that I've had my entire life, you know, and it's really uncomfortable, and trying to figure out, you know, what this means, and what I'm okay with. And you know, and really realizing again, like kind of giving myself grace in that, you know, it's like, it's okay for me to try and take care of myself in this way and to be healthier for me so that I can really, you know, be more authentic. And I really do feel like that is, you know, helps me get closer and kind of raising my vibration too, because then I'm not dampening it so much anymore, you know, with other people's beliefs or expectations or what have you. So yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
What you said about people telling you who you are, that's one of the things this past month, like I've been so indignant about, and just really realizing when people are telling me who I am, and I'm like, no, you don't get to decide who I am. I get to decide who I am. And I think that that's when I said like the inner child, that's coming out. That's part of the inner child part. It's like, no, you don't get to decide. It's me. Yep. And so I love that like you've picked up on that too. I mean, that's what we're all kind of working through.
Well, and I found that I'm getting in my own way, because sometimes I will go into a pattern or an old belief system, you know, of a story that either others told me I was, and I would just go right into it, and I'd catch myself and I'm like, why do I have to believe that old story? I don't believe it. So why am I acting this way? And so part of, I think, the learning for me is it's got to come into your awareness before you can actually shift. And so sometimes we don't want to face the shadows, or what they call shadow work, because we're afraid of it. But I actually think looking at sometimes the things that we're most uncomfortable with, Wendy, to your point, that's where we actually see the breakthroughs. Because if we don't even see the pattern or we're not aware of it, we can't shift it. Right. And so for anyone who's struggling to kind of look at it, you know, you can look at it with humor or just be the observer, but it's got to be in my awareness before I can go, oh crap, I just did that again. And that was on me. No one else made me do that. I just walked right into the same thing I've been doing.
Yeah. So, well, one of the most frustrating things, so we are starting to see it and realize these things, and we're like, and we want to make the change, we're ready, but dealing with some of the other people in the relationships, and they are not there, and they don't see it. They refuse to see it, you know, and they will rewrite their history with you however they want, you know, and they just can't like move past it. And it's like, and there's no way for you to get someone to see it, you know? And so that's been a real hard one for me. It's like, I just feel like in so many of these relationships I have, I mean, whether it's parents, siblings, whatever, it's like, man, just trying to get them to see themselves. It's so hard. And then having to be like, okay, well, I can just accept you where you're at, but then they're, you know, putting me in these, you know, like they're putting a square around me of like, oh, well, you're this person. And I'm like, no, I am not this person. It's like, but they refuse to see, you know, who I actually am. And it's just, man, it's,
you've always done it this way. Why aren't you doing this anymore? Like, because I'm choosing not to do it this way anymore.
Right.
I'm changing.
Yeah. Well, and oftentimes our change makes people feel fear-based or afraid, because if we change, sometimes that means they have to change. And they like to keep things.
It's forcing. Yeah.
Because people want to keep you in a box because it's safe and it's easy. As long as you're doing all these things for them. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, we're going to move. Thanks, ladies. Great conversation. And I did want to acknowledge in the chat, you know, I think, Anna, you said sometimes it is a challenge of finding that new soul tribe in these new relationships. And Peggy, you said a really lovely thing around this is a great spiritual community. So we just encourage everyone in the chat to keep coming and make your comments and let us know how you're doing as well, because we're in this together as one community, and it just feels safe and it just feels very loving to be together, because we are trying to build the best in one another and all find our place and our spiritual gifts. So we really appreciate all of you and your support, but we're here to support one another. And I think that is really, really important as we navigate these energies that are happening right now. So with that, Wendy, I think you're going to lead us through the questions for the collective tonight.
Yeah. All right. So the question we have for the collective is, what belief or energetic pattern is the collective being called to revisit or release during this retrograde period? I pulled from the Cosmic Journey Oracle, and I got bloom where you are planeted. And it's funny because I had a kind of a similar message in my reading today. But basically, I think this is asking us to revisit this idea. And I'm going to have glasses if I'm going to read from this book. All right. So you are in exactly the perfect place. It may seem difficult to be on Earth during these accelerated times of learning. You can say that again, right? You may long for your place in the stars as you gaze at the night sky, but you were brought to Earth for a definite reason. In fact, you picked it, even if you don't remember why. Embrace being part of and literally grown from this planet for the next collective evolution. Bloom where you are planted and bloom where you are planeted. So I think just kind of, remembering that we're all here for a reason. We all have a purpose. There is a greater meaning to what we are here to do. And just kind of, connecting with that again and really thinking about like, okay, what do I want to do here? What, kind of that reassessing. It's like everything that you have experienced in your life has led you here to this moment, right? And there's absolutely a reason for it. And I mean, I know we even talked about it last week where it's like, for those of us who are having to step up as leaders, as guides, as, who are kind of inspiring others and having some kind of an influence on others. It's like, you might feel like it's that imposter syndrome kind of thing, right? But no, you are here to share your experience, to share your stories, to be a part of this collective and this community. And by being able to have that vulnerability, right, and to really think about, well, why am I here? Or what does this mean? It really helps lift everybody up. And it's really, I think, what we've been called to do. And it's been growing and growing over the last few years. And I feel like we're going to start having even bigger booms of people just having these kind of, awakenings and being able to see that they are here for a greater purpose and that they can do something, that they can help, that they do have a voice and it matters, and just kind of join in with everybody else. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. And I think it's not only something to revisit right now in this energy with all the retrogrades, but also just, as often as you can, just kind of revisit that. And it's a good reminder for us all. So that I'm going to go ahead and hand over to Sari.
Okay, so again, the question is, what belief or energetic pattern for the collective is being called to either revisit or release? I pulled from the Voice of the Souls. If you haven't ever seen this, it's a beautiful oracle deck. And this card came out upside down. And so there's a reason for it. And it's called learning. Okay, so if it's up, it's learning. It's a number 4, which is all around building foundations. So I'll share, this is a card for me too, because I used to work in a high pressured corporate environment, and it was all around high performance. And if you made the simplest mistakes, you could get fired really easily. So people would be terrified of innovating or trying new things because it would mean that you could, get the axe. And so I always had a fear of, just being this childlike learner. And so this is what it's about. It says, you are currently in an energy of intense learning and great positive evolution. You need to learn new things, and you have many abilities and skills which are dormant inside of you right now. And this is very powerful. So during this retrograde, what it's saying is don't have any doubt along your path. You may wonder if you're taking the right path by learning new things or making changes to your new capabilities, or perhaps it's a job. If you make the choice by and for yourself, it will always be a good choice because it is your own, not a choice someone's making for you. Be daring and be confident. And so as you are pulling in these new spiritual gifts, don't be afraid to be daring and to learn and to be open, because like I believe, Wendy, you said it, the imposter syndrome. We can't possibly be qualified to do this. Where did this gift come from? So what it's saying is it's okay to learn. It's okay to explore. There's so much potential within all of us, and we just have to be open to let it unfold as it's supposed to. All right. And with that, I will turn it to Jen.
All right. So I have pulled with the Healing the Inner Child Oracle, and the card I got was Sacred Desire. And this connected me right back to what we've been talking about already about, being told who we are. And now then we're at this place where it's like, that's not good enough for us anymore. It's like, we know who we are. It's been hidden in us all along. And the sacred part of that desire, like I see, this is the thing. We held it so tight to our heart. We didn't want anybody to even see it. But now then it's time that we're releasing that and the revisiting of that. So it says, many of us have been raised to fear the resonant yes within ourselves and to mistrust our deepest longings. Depending on the culture you grew up in, you might have internalized the belief that desires are sinful or vain. You might believe it's selfish to follow your dreams. You might hear inner voices telling you, wake up and be realistic. Life is hard, it is suffering, and dreams are naive. Denying your deepest desires and dreams keeps them in the shadow, and whatever is suppressed comes back to influence us, often in unpleasant ways. If we are spiritual beings having a human experience, if we are made in the image of God, then our very longings hold a clue as to why we were born. Is the tree's desire for rain and sunlight not part of the fabric of the universe? What if your longings hold the key to your purpose and your journey as a soul? This card invites you to recognize your desires as sacred and to act on them. Every great change in our collective was born from the courage of those who had a dream and dared to act upon the dream. What was sacred to your younger self? What did you desire more than anything as a child? Can you remember your childhood dreams and how they felt in your body? What happened to them as you grew older? Say out loud with your inner child, our dreams are sacred. And I like where it said, connecting to what it felt like in your body, because the dreams that we had as a child may not be the exact same dream that we have now, but that feeling, just connecting back to that feeling of what that felt like, that's your guide. That's your guidance of how you know which way to move forward and what is truly aligned for you and who you really are. All right, so I'm going to pass it on to Ruby.
All right, so it's so interesting because I got the same card that I pulled for my Wednesday reading at the very end of it. Okay, so I'm using the Divine Circus Oracle cards, and I got the White Duchess. And so that reading was all about love and different relationships in our life, which is exactly what we've been talking about. But when you get her, she is there to help you leave behind the storms of the past. And she protects us as we move into the future. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one. Are you one of the many suffering in a dark and stormy inner world of post-traumatic stress? Do you believe that because there have been struggles in your past, and perhaps at times even great pain, that this is how your future shall be too? Or perhaps you have been striving towards a dream, and it seems like so long since you began that you are losing hope of ever breaking through into successful fulfillment and a new life. The White Duchess comes to you with clear guidance. Don't look back. Let the past be put to rest. Whatever has haunted your dreams, whatever has caused turmoil, it's over. It's not needed anymore. There's a future destiny calling to you now. It is time to transition through into a new world, into your new life. The White Duchess appears when you are in the midst of a significant life transition. You may be aware of this, or it may come as a surprise to you, but her appearance indicates that it is time to let go of the past, even if it means you are going through a phase of not really knowing who you are or where you are headed. She will guide you through the transition towards a future completely free from past influences, unfettered by issues that trapped you in times gone by. She wipes clean all past contaminants and help you start afresh, a new life, a new person, a new chance at the life of your dreams. Trust her and believe in the positive power of your future. And so what's interesting is at the bottom of this, there's actually an affirmation that you can use too. And it's so cool because it talks about courage, which is about Leo. And so it just says, with courage and compassion, I leave the past behind. I have learned well, and now I find that a new adventure is ready for me, the next step in my divine destiny. And I trust the universe to lovingly guide me into my future, bright, pure, and true. I'm being given a new chance in life. And so I say, woohoo. And I just had to add that in there because it's almost like, this storm, you're being washed clean. You're being, we're all still in this storm, but it's like, as we head into the future, it's like wiped completely clear. And so it's giving me a feeling of just relax and let the universe take the wheel as we move through these energies, because she's here to help guide us through it. It's not up to us to steer the ship that she's guiding us through. It's the universe is steering a lot of these energies, and it's up to us to trust ourselves and trust our own intuition, but also to relax into the energy. So that's what I have, turning it over to Wendy.
Yes. Sorry, really quickly, before I read for the first person from our audience, I wanted to bring up a conversation that I've been having actually over and over with my kids lately, and it's about control. And I just want to mention it because I feel like it's just relevant in this time, and really to what you said there too, Ruby, and moving into things. It's like, I think so many people, they try to control the things that they're afraid of, that they fear, right? But by trying to exert that control, they end up creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of having exactly what they're afraid of come true. And the tighter they try to hold on to it and control it, the deeper they get into that self-fulfilling prophecy of having that happen. So that's why we talk about releasing your fear with things, and having and letting go of it, and allowing space to be able to accept what's coming, because it will go so much smoother, and two, you're far less likely to have the thing that you were afraid of actually coming true. But if you try to control it, it's almost guaranteed that what you're afraid of is going to come true. So just want to put that out there. Okay, so I am pulling for Jonna, and you said that you were starting a energy healing business. Yes, and I pulled from the Enchanted Map Oracles. So your advice from Spirit, I got the 50 card, which is Compass. Okay. That reduces to 5. 5s are all about change. Now, I feel like with these retrogrades, a lot of things are going to get thrown at you. Okay. But keep in mind about what I just said about control. So don't try to control all of these different situations that get thrown at you. It says, as long as you orient your compass to true north, the direction of your higher power, you will never be lost, right? So, if you have a mission statement, which, anybody here who has started their own business and had to write a business plan, you probably know what a mission statement is. Go back to that. Just to remind yourself, why are you doing this? Why did you start this business in the first place? What is your goal? Because you absolutely will have challenges. And those challenges are going to come in, with, let's see, it says money, property, prestige. It says romance, but maybe that's looking more towards your personal life, or maybe how that would affect your business if you're in relationship, and other material achievements. It's like those things, even though they can really cause a huge distraction and be a huge bump in the road for you, you don't want to try to control those things, or get to where that's where your focus is going, and then you're losing sight of why you start that whole mission statement, why you're doing this in the first place, right? So I think as long as you keep going back to that and you keep thinking, what is the real reason that I wanted to do this, then that will keep you on course, and you'll be fine, But if you give in to fear with those obstacles and you try to, really control what happens with them, it's just that you're going to kind of fall off track and kind of lose your way. So stay the course, hon. Remember why you started this in the first place. Hope that resonates for you, Jonna. And I'm going to move on to Sari.
All right. I'm pulling for Anna. Hi, Anna. And I pulled a card from the Angels and Auras Oracle deck. Wow, this is a powerful card. This is Archangel Uriel. I mentioned him. It just kind of flew out of my mouth earlier about him being with us. And Archangel Uriel, this is a 10. 10 is very much the Wheel of Fortune card. So this is kind of fated that Archangel Uriel is with you right now. And his name means the light or the fire of God. Now, traditionally, Uriel is shown in red, but in this depiction, he is shown with this amazing golden light, and he's presented with a scroll in one hand and a flame in the other. This is because Uriel is known for providing brilliant epiphanies to those who ask for his assistance. He offers those amazing ideas to those who are truly pursuing this life path that they're passionate about. So Anna, my sense is that you're going through a lot of change, and you are finding your soul tribe. You may be looking at either a new opportunity, a project, but it says golden energy is helpful with goal setting and checking things off your to-do list. When gold is present in the aura, this means that you are so passionate about your vision that it's not a question of how it's going to happen. It's only a matter of when. Gold energy of Uriel stimulates new ideas and brings forth new insights. So you got a very powerful archangel who is giving you insights and epiphany. And the message is, listen to those things that are just coming out of nowhere and take them and run with them, because you are being divinely and angelically guided towards your passion and towards this new version of you that's coming through. And so this is such a powerful card that he's got your back, and you are divinely protected and guided right now. So let whatever come through needs to come through. And if you actually see the color gold or sense gold around you or around others, that's something to pay very close attention to. So with that, I will pass it on to Jen. But thank you, Anna. A pleasure.
Okay, I have pulled for Misty. And Misty, I pulled with the Healing the Inner Child Oracle for you. And we have entanglement. And so I want to get kind of what I was getting come in. I want to get that out first. So I was getting kind of a sense of like two different themes coming through. So it's like there's a mirroring of something that's happening in your present, but it's like it's showing you what is still kind of in your past that still needs to be healed. And so what I'm getting is like in very close relationships, your closest of relationships, you let them get by with like everything. You give chance after chance after chance until you are just like completely exhausted, and you can't understand like why they won't just see how, how much you've put in and how exhausted you are, just like all of that. But it's just because they're still asking because you're still doing. And that, again, it's drawing back to the childhood. This is something from your childhood. This is a pattern that needs to be healed. It needs to be seen first, recognized first, that this is why you're doing it. This is why you keep getting in this situation. Okay. So, with the entanglements. Okay. We are born into a story that is already being told and has been told over many generations. We must untangle the threads that keep us bound to the limitations of the story in order to step into our lives as empowered adults. We release entanglements by identifying the fears, beliefs, and behaviors that we have adopted and that keep us bound to suffering over the generations. We need to bring to light who and what was excluded or silenced. As long as someone in the family lineage is excluded, the repercussions will be felt by everyone in the lineage. And when I pull this, I usually feel like the person I'm pulling it for is the one that was the excluded one, is the scapegoat. An effective way of releasing entanglements is to identify and release your worst fear. Another clue to an entanglement could be if growing up you were told you were like your grandmother, or you remind me of so and so. You might also be entangled if you are repeating the same behavior patterns as a family member or carrying fear, anxiety, and grief that do not belong to you. These emotions travel down the generations and need to be released back to their original owners with love and respect. This card indicates that it is time to recognize something that you have been carrying that does not belong to you. And so, I mean, I think that that's what you're going to be using this retrograde energy to work through, is like, what are those things, again, that like you're still holding on from the past that are like, they're being mirrored to you though right now in front of you in your current connections. So that's what I have for you, Misty. I hope that helps, and we will move forward with Ruby.
Hi, so I'm calling for Deborah, and I think, Deborah, you are definitely one of those people that is in what the energy that I had just pulled with the White Duchess, that is helping move you and wash you clean. So you have an important meeting. Okay, this is going to be interesting. When I live pulled this on the bottom of the deck, I didn't read this card, but being washed clean, we have this brilliant Virgin card on the bottom. So that's why I'm saying that to you specifically. You actually got the Silver Siren. Okay, and so that, to me, it's so interesting how all of our energies are tying together, you guys, because what Sari had pulled was Archangel Uriel and talking about the gold, right? What I'm getting is all that glitters is not gold as well. And so this is talking about discernment, and one of the things that it talks about here is a pretty poison to the soul. So I'm not sure what your meeting is about, but I'm going to go ahead and just read what we got here. The modern world, perhaps, especially in the spiritual field, is laden with false light. This is the light that blinds and obscures rather than clarifies and reveals. False light is that which may seem dazzling on the surface, but underneath is nothing but hot air at best, and destructive energy that will rot your soul at worst. False light is the opportunity so intoxicating that even selling your soul to have it seems rational, or the person so alluring that you are willing to deny your basic needs for respect and acknowledgement in order to spend even just a moment by their side. The false light is a seduction, a siren song, a promise of whatever it is you feel you cannot have unless you compromise your integrity to get it. There is just one lesson to be learned through the siren song, the same lesson always, no matter what the circumstances may be. If you compromise your integrity, you will find that what you have obtained was not worth the price you paid for it. So no matter how much you believed it would be otherwise, it will simply not be worthwhile. Silver Siren comes to you when you are one of the souls with enough discernment, strength, and integrity to be able to say no to the enchantment that will not enhance your life, but slowly and surely destroy it. The small compromise of your self-esteem would seem innocuous enough at first, but with cajoling and manipulation would continue and eventually erode at your soul until you no longer believed yourself capable of living your best life, of receiving genuine love and affection, of having anything of value to share with the world. To disempower the false light, you must stay true to what your heart says. No matter how much you may fear you'll regret it later on, Simply say no to that which is unworthy, so to that which does not hold the truth of love within. Even if by all appearances a person declares they are utterly enlightened and only interested in your highest good, even if the opportunity at hand is too good to miss, making your mind needy and confused when what you feel in your heart is that you really should give it a miss, simply say no. When the silver siren sings her song to you, know that you are being given an opportunity for empowerment. This is an opportunity to trust yourself and stand firm in your truths and to experience the priceless sense of love, safety, security, peace, and self-possession that this brings. With this, your soul can sing its own song, a song that shares true light, the lightness of a heart that lives in a peaceful truth with the world. So what I'm getting for you is that there's something in this energy that is a repeat pattern for you that is coming back around. And I don't know specifically what it's going to be. It could be something that you're saying yes or no to, or whatever this is, maybe a promotion opportunity or whatever. It's asking you to look very closely with a discerning eye at your options and to allow your intuition to truly guide you through that, because it's gonna, what I heard my guide say, it's gonna, I don't know why, it's gonna be different this time for you. Okay, so I hope that gives you some guidance. Thank you so much, Deborah.
All right. So I pulled a card for Lindsay from the Cosmic Journey Oracle. And I love this because you got your greatest work is your legendary legacy. And it's 42, so it goes down to 6. So this is like what's next for you. And it just is so in line with everything we've been talking about tonight. This says, you've drawn the sword of destiny. Your legendary legacy awaits. An action that you take now may be felt for years or more. Your greatest work will stand against the endless tides of history, washing everything else away. Paradoxically, by trying to create a legacy, you might nullify the likelihood it'll happen. So that's that whole control thing coming in again, right? So you're not trying to create it, you have to let it happen. So you must dare differently. Discover what you are uniquely designed to do. Activate your unique genius by proclaiming your authentic power. Remember or re-remember your true mission here and why you incarnated at this time. And evolve your deepest dream into full service for the largest collective. So exactly what we've been talking about tonight, right? Just kind of reassessing, kind of remembering why you're here, what your purpose is, and then just owning it and really, letting it unfold how it's supposed to. And it will become your legacy. I love that for you. It's beautiful. All right. Going on to Sri.
Okay, I'm going to read for Shirley Mills. I hope you're still with us. And I pulled from the Mystic Shaman Oracle deck. And the card that I got is the spiral, which is like the nautilus shell that you find on the beach. And Shirley, this card is significant because it says you are in a deep, deep transformation. And it says from galaxies in the sky to the shells on the beach, the spiral is found extensively in the world. Its shape in the form of a coiled serpent has been used since ancient times as a tool for growth and transformation. And it says, you are renewing yourself, and in doing so, you are shedding your old skin. You've already done the work, so do not keep scraping away at the old, but welcome the soft new skin that's starting to grow. Break the habit of working on your own faults all the time and let nature take its course. Know that when you have new skin, at times it feels vulnerable and scary. Trust the medicine of the spiral as it guides your journey of renewal. So this is a beautiful card, Shirley, of transformation, shedding the old, bringing in the new. And this is just kind of a summary of the whole hour that we've spent. So I think this is really a great card for the collective in that we're all going through shedding of the old skin, the old belief systems, the old stories, and we're bringing in the new. We don't yet quite know what it's going to look like because we're in this new baby skin and we've been birthed. And so give yourself grace. So Shirley, this is a beautiful card that says you are exactly where you need to be, and that the spiral allows you to bring in this new beautiful life and a part of you that has been wanting to emerge. And so it's a rebirth for you. And again, that's a beautiful card. And hopefully that resonates for you and gives you the confidence of any kind of fear or uncomfortable feeling of being in new skin could bring. So with that, we're on the hour, and we did not get to everyone this evening, but please come back next week because we'll pull more cards. And again, we really appreciate your support. The conversation this evening, thank you, ladies. It was amazing. Be safe this weekend. Get some rest. Take good care of yourselves with self-care. Again, we're sending you lots of love and healing energy. We so appreciate you, and we will call it an evening. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.